is SportsCenter.
Welcome to this edition of SportsCenter. I'm Brian Van Pelt. Tonight is Chris Johnson's season on the line. Can the West do anything against a dominant East? And we get head coach Ryan Courtney's response to a tough loss. But first, we send it to Brian Berman with the Week 4 recap. Thanks, Brian, and here we go. The fastest 3 minutes in football. Collie Maybe taking on currently no email. Huge monster game out of Aaron Rodgers. Even Michael Turner Burner shows up. On the other side, Julio lays an egg for Collie Maybe. 3 points, that's it. But it doesn't matter. Collie Maybe, 120 to 102, wins. They're going crazy in Lawrenceville. Next, we had the Cam Burglars taking on Louis Vuitton in the grudge match. These two teams don't get along. It's a close one. Titus Young cut by Louis Vuitton earlier in the week. The Cam Burglars picks him up, starts him. He only gets 2 points. It's a disaster. On the other side of the ball, we had Stafford with a rushing touchdown. I don't know. They call it good, though. It counts. Louis Vuitton edges the Cam Burglars 112 to 110. 30 rack of Matty Ice taking on What Would Jones Drew, the previously undefeated What Would Jones Drew. That would change today. Chris Johnson in a breakout performance. What? But uh-oh, Maurice Jones-Drew, the franchise player, lets him down. 8 points. That's not going to get it done. On the other side of the ball, 30 rack with double digits across the board. The kicker even shows up. It's a team effort, and they knock off What Would Jones-Drew 128 to 84. Another matchup, Upper Decker taking on Taste Dwayne Bowe. Tom Brady comes out throwing. Continues to throw late into the fourth quarter, and he could go all the way and does. On the other side of the ball, Upper Decker looks miserable. 0-4. Where are the running backs? I don't know. He doesn't get it done. Taste Dwayne Bowe wins 101 to 85. Moving on, Drinkin' Fortes versus previously undefeated Griffin Score. It's the defensive battle, both defenses scoring high. Tony Romo gift wraps about 2 touchdowns for Drinkin' Fortes. And then on the other side, Dez Bryant has the worst 8-catch, 100-plus yard game you can have. It could have been a monster game. Instead, it opens the door for a comeback from Drinkin' Fortes, and he does. He takes the opening. 110 to 102. Drinkin' Fortes is the winner. Final matchup, Tickling Tony's Toes versus Ray Caruth's ex-wife. San Fran defense comes out strong for Ray Caruth. Puts Tickling Tony's Toes in the hole, a massive hole. So, head coach Lee Reeves needs a massive game out of Tony Romo. But he gets a football apocalypse. 5 interceptions. Tony Romo gift wrapping interceptions left and right for the opposing defense. He's left looking for answers. He's not going to find them. Ray Caruth's ex-wife, 121. Tickling Tony's Toes, 74. Brian, back to you. I'm going to head out to Applebee's and get some 2-for-1 appetizers. Thanks, Boomer. Always a pleasure. An absolutely dominant performance by the Eastern Conference. Well, just like the Western Conference, Tennessee Titans running back Chris Johnson has struggled badly this season. Unfortunately, sports science will break down Johnson's struggles this year. Just kidding, but seriously.
A running back's #1 responsibility is to gain yards from the line of scrimmage. This year, Tennessee Titans' Chris Johnson has failed to do so. At 5 feet 11 inches and only 191 pounds, you would think that a guy with a 4.24 40-yard dash would be able to do so. However, he's only boasted a meager 10.8 fantasy points on the season, or the number of pieces of rice in my hand currently. Not only that, but Chris Johnson is putting up a meager 1.4 YPC, or yards per carry, this season. Dude, filming. Filming. That won't let me in the studio.
It's my kitchen.
I want to talk about Tebow. I don't want to talk about science.
So I guess Chris Johnson received over 100 carries this week to make that average possible. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sports science. Great reporting. Or whatever. We will be back to talk about whether or not the East can continue to reign supreme in the FFL right after this.
M&W Logistics is a place full of hardworking and dedicated individuals. Meet Lee Reeves.
Hell, Olivia. No, I cannot come to book club and wine night. M&W Logistics. No. No. No.
Sports science is a joke. Is that guy doing it from his kitchen now? Exactly. He's like ESPN's illegitimate child. We have to trot him out here every once in a while.
Have you been hurt in an accident involving a plane, a train, a boat, a car, literally any vehicle? Call now and get the help you deserve.
Welcome back. Week 4 saw the Eastern Conference sweep the West. Week 5 pits the East and West head-to-head once again. Will the results be the same? With much more, we say hello to our FFL insider, Brian Schefter. Brian, give us your feelings on Week 5. I think you see more of the same this week. Right now, the Eastern teams are the teams to beat. And when you look at the West, the Camburglers have been suffering from poor waiver wire pickups. Tickling Tony's toes has half the team on bye week. And Griffin-Score faces some tough matchups this week. The only Western team I see with a chance is What Would Jones Drew. It looks like he'll start a revitalized Chris Johnson. We'll see how that goes. But he faces a team that has managed to squeak out wins by margins slimmer than the Eagles in Louis Vuitton. I'm not sure what head coach Jared LaCroix had to do to obtain this type of luck, but it sure makes it interesting. Brian, looking at the top 2 teams in the West, can either of these teams challenge the East in the playoffs? I think you have to look at What Would Jones Drew. If they can get their running backs to produce consistently, I can see them making a deep playoff push. However, that is a gigantic if. Wow. Definitely a big if. I'm not quite ready to buy a rejuvenated Chris Johnson. Not yet. We'll see in Week 5 what he does. Give me a player to start and one to sit this week. I would start Julio Jones. He had a very quiet week with Roddy White hauling in seemingly everything that Matt Ryan put in the air. But look for Julio to bounce back in Week 5. I would sit Sean Green. In fact, I would sit any Jets player I had. This team is horrible, and I don't see it getting any better in the coming weeks. We'll have much more with Brian Schefter later in the hour. But now let's bring in head coach Ryan Courtney to discuss a heartbreaking loss to Louis Vuitton. Ryan, if you could, sum up your feelings after that loss.
Yeah, it was a tough loss, but I deserve it. I got out-coached out there. I hate Coach LaCroix, but damn it, I respect him. And he did well. I thought Robbie Gould was going to give me that last-second field goal. Romo was throwing the picks because he loves me, trying to get Gold the field goals. But it didn't happen, But in regards to my team, we took it well, considering that I still have a majority of my players injured. And when we all get back to 100% healthy, I think we'll be good. We'll be the team to beat. Injuries could play a factor. Do you care to comment on the fact that both of your running backs started this week and received the majority of carries? You're absolutely right. They did start and play, but Jackson's old and Reggie Bush takes forever to get healthy. So I think they're still sore. They're probably feeling some soreness, and so they can't run as fast. And they might be thinking about other things, Are they going to lose their job to the backup? CJ Spiller's been putting a lot of pressure on Jackson. So they're definitely injured physically or mentally. You have to take the whole picture into concern. So yeah, that's it. I think we should be okay when everyone's healthy. Yeah. Can you respond to allegations that you neglected your infant son in favor of playing Madden and enjoying a Sixer while your wife was out of town? Hell yeah, I'll respond. Look, man, Casey was out of town. My good friend and enemy, Coach LaCroix, just got Madden. We had been talking it up all day. It was Friday. I just want to sit down, relax. Walker was in bed. Everything was calm. I was just having a couple beverages, and playing Madden. So these allegations are Hold on, Walker.
Okay, obviously experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll let head coach Ryan Courtney deal with those domestic issues. For all of us here at SportsCenter, I'm Brian Van Pelt saying so long.